Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Bonsoir à toutes et à tous et bienvenue. Here tonight, this evening for the inaugural Arts Internship Awards reception under our new name as the David M. Culver Centre Arts Internship Office. Je tiens à remercier sincèrement les membres de la famille Culver ainsi que l'ensemble des généreux donateurs dont le soutien rend ce programme possible et transforme concrètement les parcours des étudiants. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces here tonight. And for those I haven't yet met, my name is Jade Bouter. I'm the director of the Culver Centre AIO. And I'm very pleased to be here to be celebrating the summer 2026 cohort of award recipients. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on unceded Indigenous land. McGill University is located on lands known as Jojage, which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange amongst Indigenous peoples. The Kanien'kehá:ka Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather today. We acknowledge the painful history of dispossession and commit our work at the Culver Centre AIO to supporting the success of present and future generations. Turning now to this evening's program, we will begin with remarks from the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Lisa Shapiro, followed by words by Mr. Michael Culver, who will share a few words about the vision behind the Culver Centre. And you will also get to hear from 3 past award recipients who will share their advice to you, this year's cohort. Before inviting our speakers, I just wanted to share a few words about the cohort this summer that reflects the scale of this year's program. So this summer, there are 130 of you students who will receive support through the Faculty of Arts Internship Awards, representing over $650,000 in funding. In addition, we won't forget them, there are also 30 students who will receive ARIAs, the Arts Undergraduate Research Internship Awards, representing over $150,000 in support for undergraduate research. But beyond these numbers, we clap for them as well. But beyond just these numbers, what matters the most is the people behind them. To all of this year's recipients, congratulations. This is a significant achievement and a moment to be proud of. Many of you applied to multiple positions, navigated uncertainty, and stayed persistent, so this moment really reflects a lot of work behind the scenes on your end. As you prepare to embark on this new journey, our office will be there to support you along the way, and I look forward to seeing many of you in the next few weeks at our workshops throughout the months of May. And none of this would be possible without the strong and community behind it. We are deeply grateful for the generous support of the donors, the McGill alumni, and the Arts Undergraduate Society for making these opportunities possible. I also want to recognize the host organization supervisors, a few of them are here tonight with us, who also provide the mentorship and care and dedication that are essential to supporting these activities. Together, this community makes these life-changing opportunities possible. So once again, please join me in showing our appreciation for everyone who makes this program possible. It is now my pleasure to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Professor Lisa Shapiro, to share a few words.
Merci, Jade. Bonsoir et bienvenue à tous et à tous. Comme Jade a dit, je suis Lisa Shapiro, la doyenne de la Faculté des Arts à l'Université McGill. C'est un grand plaisir, comme chaque année, d'être parmi vous ce soir. I want to, before I move on to my remarks, I think I want to follow Jade's note of thanks to thank the work of Jade herself and the team in the Arts Internship Office that really does a tremendous amount of work all year round to ensure that this experience runs smoothly and that the internships are as successful as possible. So let me start my remarks with a big round of applause for them. Alors, je continue. Félicitations à vous tous et toutes. Pour beaucoup d'entre vous, cet été sera riche en expériences pratiques et concrètes qui vous serviront bien après vos études à McGill et peut-être pendant vos études à McGill aussi. Today, you'll get to hear firsthand accounts from fellow art students. For many art students and graduates, their internship experiences have been extraordinarily memorable and formative parts of their time at McGill and continuing on after McGill. Today marks the first event of the newly established David M. Culver Centre Arts Internship Office, which honors the vision of David M. Culver, a proud McGill alumnus and former Alcan CEO, who championed global citizenship, cultural diversity, and collaboration. It's thanks to the generous support of donors and dedicated efforts of champions like the Culver family and Lev Bookman and Liz Gomery that the David M. Culver Center can offer bright and passionate students like you these unique experiential learning opportunities, bookended by workshops with skill development that will help you make your experience a great success. It is almost self-evident to these champions and donors just how valuable these internship opportunities are, allowing students, you, to translate what you are learning into concrete contexts that engage a variety of communities as part of a team. Through both the undergraduate summer research projects and internships with local and global organizations, which include McGill Queen's University Press and La Table de Concertation Jeunesse NDG, both, by the way, who are new internships, who are offering new internships this year, to the UNCHR headquarters in Geneva. The David M. Culver Center continues to honor Mr. Culver's spirit by empowering students to become thoughtful and engaged global citizens. Before you hear from others about their internship experiences, as Jade indicated, and key advice to make the most of your opportunity, I'd like to introduce Michael Culver, who will share a few words about his late father and the center's dedication to bring his vision to fruition. I want to thank you all, and I look forward to welcoming you all back in the fall for the Arts Showcase, where we will all meet again to hear about everyone's internship and research experiences from the summer. Michael?
Well, bonsoir à tous. Good evening. It's great to see all these young minds who are looking forward to internships around the world. And it's one of the things that my dad really liked about McGill and Montreal is the spirit of generational productivity. And he loved young people. In fact, when he was having conference meetings at Alcan, he would always go into the meeting and generally ask, who's the youngest person in the room? What do you think of the situation that we're up against? So he's really down to earth, very, very good at understanding people. I'll give you a sort of a little story that helps to reflect that. When we grew up, my brother Marcus here, we didn't have a curfew. He didn't believe in curfews, which all my friends had curfews. So we could stay out as late as we wanted to, but we had to be at breakfast with our bed made, fully dressed at 7 a.m. in the morning. And that had its effect on us coming home at the right time. So that was a little vignette to say he understood very well how people think. So earlier today, we had a meeting with Jade, and she went through a presentation about the center, and it's unbelievable with 4 people how much the center accomplishes every year. I mean, since 2004, thank you, Lev. Lev Berkman, who was one of the founders of this organization, 2,300 students have been through the internship program, and total funding of about $7.5 million. So I'm going to talk about Montreal and how important that was to our family and McGill and my father. And then I'm going to talk about risk and reward and an expression we had at school that went on ad nauseum. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So first, the reason we like this program is because it's a really good fit with our father's values, that being global citizenship, selfless responsibility, and fondness for the city of Montreal, a city of big thinkers with global aspirations, a city that reflects his values. So let's talk about Montreal. The internship program catalyzes global citizenship. It supports and strengthens Montreal's ethos. The program underscores my father's, our father, David Culver's, values of open-mindedness, selflessness, optimism, and seeing the good in situations and people. Our dad loved Montreal for its cultural diversity, its citizens' curiosity, the citizens' worldliness, and he admired the excellent educational institutions in this city. And today I learned that there are more students in the city of Montreal than there are in Boston, which is pretty impressive. Thank you, Connor. He leveraged Montreal's strengths to support world-class architecture. In fact, Alcan supported what was an amazing series of lectures called the Alcan Architectural Series, which was in the Leacock building about 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, brought on by a fellow Montrealer, Perraud. And that helped the city understand the value of real estate, of architecture, of maintaining some of the old architecture and knocking it all down, and not knocking it all down. Les employés d'Alcan basés au Québec étaient mobiles, toujours désirés d'explorer des nouveaux pays et être à l'aise dans de nouveaux environnements. Ils voyaient le déménagement comme une occasion d'apprendre et de progresser. C'est par conséquent, Montréal est une idéale location pour les organisations internationales. So Montreal had a big effect on my dad's psyche. With that, I'm going to go into the two expressions that I talked about risk and about responsibility. One is there's no such thing, there's nothing ventured, nothing gained. That was one of my father's favorite expressions. All the participants or the applicants in the 2026 program made the courageous decision to put their self-esteem at risk by submitting their application. Again, there's no risk, there's no reward, without risk. Congratulations to the interns who've been selected for 2026. Mais aussi, un mot pour eux qui ont postulé, mais n'ont pas été sélectionnés. Tu as risqué ta réputation, considérez le processus comme une expérience d'apprentissage. It's occasions like this that help you grow and build resistance and be willing to take risk again to try something that you may not know the outcome of. Next expression I mentioned, no such thing as free lunch. This is about responsibility. As an arts intern, those selected for this program, you have a responsibility to learn as much as you can from the internship and to return to McGill the benefits of the experience to other mentors, to other members of the community. While this is self-imposed, it is fully expected of you. It is a privilege that comes with the territory. À l'échelle mondiale, notre Premier ministre, Mark Carney, est un bon exemple de responsabilité. Son discours à Davos a été admiré par les dirigeants et les citoyens partout dans le monde, même aux États-Unis. Cela a donné le ton d'un nouvel ordre mondial. And you know, it wasn't in Carney's mandate to make that speech, but he decided to do it because he felt somebody had to do it. So he took on the responsibility to do it. And I think it's been acknowledged as one of the greatest speeches of 2026 at least, or maybe it was 2025. With that, in terms of responsibility, my dad took on a lot of responsibility that wasn't part of his job description. He kept Alcan's headquarters in Montreal when there was a lot of pressure from his board to move because of the election of the Parti Québécois. He then, at the same time, developed Maison Alcan to make a statement that Montreal and Quebec is Alcan's home. Again, it wasn't in his job description, but it's a kind of responsibility you as interns should take on, you know, gratefully, because it is a privilege. Je veux dire merci aux donateurs qui soutiennent le programme de stage en art, et merci aux membres du comité ad hoc de Culver Centre, du Centre Culver, pour leur ténacité et leur sagesse. Quelques-uns sont ici: John Ray, merci John, Janice Dara, Andrew Culver, mon frère, et Louise-Anne Poirier, qui était fantastique. Merci Louise-Anne. Et aussi, il faut dire merci à Clayton Atto de McGill Development. Il vient de Toronto, mais il parle français, c'est pas mal. Hein? Il n'y a pas beaucoup de mains comme ça. Alors, bonne chance et attendez-vous des miracles. Merci beaucoup.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. My name is David O, and I'm honored to speak with you all. Congratulations again on receiving your respective internships. To introduce myself, I'm a joint honors political science and philosophy student with a major concentration in psychology. I'm currently a U3 student. I'll be staying at McGill because I'll be heading to McGill Law after. And then I was born in South Korea. I grew up in Moncton, New Brunswick, and then I came to Montreal for McGill. Currently, I'm a student fellow at the research group on constitutional studies, a research assistant for the Centre de Recherche en Éthique, and a volunteer at the Neurophilosophy Lab at McGill. Now, last summer, I had the privilege of receiving an Arts Undergraduate Research Internship Award for my research internship with Professor Natalie Soldier from the Philosophy Department. The title of my research was Political Distrust, Definition and Democratic Value, and basically I sought to bring empirical political science into dialogue with social philosophy to better understand political distrust. And then throughout the summer, basically I analyzed philosophical, psychological, and political research and compiled a comprehensive literature review. Now, to students doing ARIA this summer, please feel free to email me with any questions. I just have two general pieces of advice. First, it's a really basic one, but use a citation manager. A lot of the time, you'll be conducting a literature review, and it is more efficient for you and also your supervisor if you use a citation manager to manage your sources. Personally, I use Zotero, but McGill has a lot of free ones available. And second, in dialogue with your supervisor, do not be afraid to take your project into a creative direction and just see where it leads you. Pursue what interests you the most. For me, I was most interested in the philosophical definitions of distrust, though I also engaged with political science and psychology. And after I presented my research poster at the ARIA Showcase last fall, I developed my research further and now I'll be presenting at 5 different conferences, in some in Quebec and some also in Europe, on various research that I really developed from my ARIA project. Finally, I just want to say a special thank you to all the donors supporting the David M. Culver Centre and the Arts Internship Office, and also for the RGCS. My encounter with academic research throughout ARIA played a central role in helping me move towards McGill Law, pursue legal research, present at various conferences, and also serve as valedictorian for my graduating cohort this year. It is through your generous support that I had this incredible opportunity, and now future students will have as well. So thank you. Oh wait, finally, I would like to invite Gia's son and to share her experiences. Thank you so much.
So, when was the last time that you did something that scared you in just the right way? For me, it's standing here giving this speech. My name is Jia Sun, and last year I graduated from my bachelor's in sociology and Hispanic studies. But my journey at McGill did not start in the arts. I actually started in chemical engineering. And 2 years into my engineering degree, I realized that I was heading down the wrong path for me. And that's when I was confronted with two fears. I was equally terrified of continuing down a path that I didn't find fulfilling and of leaving a path that I had already invested so much in. And that's when I realized that not all fears are built the same. While some fears hold you down, others present to you an opportunity to grow. And so I took the biggest leap of faith in my life, and I left my engineering degree. That was the biggest risk I've ever taken, but it was by far the most rewarding one. Over the next 2 years, I moved to Banff to pursue my passion for skiing, and I traveled across Africa and Latin America. Those experiences taught me things that I never would have planned for. And 2 years later, returning to McGill with my newfound sense of identity, I transferred to the Faculty of Arts, and that summer I completed an internship at Festival Accès Asie through the Culver Centre Arts Internship Office. And that internship gave me a glimpse into the behind the scenes of Montreal's arts and culture scene. And a year later, I interned at the United Nations Agency International Fund for Agricultural Development. And during that internship, I connected my supervisors to Jade at the AIO in the hopes of opening the door for more McGill students to have the same opportunity as me. And so I'm so excited to be able to say that this summer, that organization is welcoming its two first ever AIO-funded interns, Madeline and ZE. This is a very full circle moment for me. And je voudrais prendre un moment pour remercier les donateurs présents avec nous, pour permettre aux étudiants de la Faculté des Arts d'avoir cette opportunité de s'épanouir au-delà du cadre académique. I would also like to take a moment to thank Jade. I've known Jade for 3 years now, and every interaction I have is so lovely, and I've felt supported since day one, so thank you, Jade. So to conclude, I'd like to come back to my initial question, because I firmly believe that every time you step out of your comfort zone, your sense of what's within your reach expands and your world grows a little. So this summer, as you step into your new roles, I urge you to ask yourselves, what is something that you can take on that scares you in just the right way? Thank you. I will now pass the floor on to Henry Maidoh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Maidoh, and I am a U3 honors student studying political science and international development here at McGill University. And I am proud to say that I am a Canadian, British, and Nigerian citizen. I was drawn to this university precisely because of its extraordinary diversity, a community where students from every corner of the world can come together to learn, challenge one another, and to grow. And it is this exact spirit of global engagement that's led me to pursue one of the most formative and meaningful experiences of my life, an internship with the Democratic Center of Development, also known as CDD Ghana. As a social accountability and knowledge management intern, I contributed to the Ghana Cities Monitor Project, or GCM, an initiative designed to provide timely, comprehensive data on service delivery and quality of life in urban Ghana. One highlight was traveling to the Ashanti region, where I co-facilitated focus group discussions with local duty bearers and civil society leaders to contextualize performance data, produce sector-level analyses, and draft policy recommendations for our final GCM report. Beyond that, I supported the international desk by attending high-level panel discussions on the implications of the Alliance of Sahel States withdrawal from the Economic Council of West African States, also known as ECOWAS. Throughout this opportunity, I was given the license to produce a comparative outcome document between the European Union and ECOWAS, highlighting key lessons that each institution can draw from the other. Now, with that context in mind, I would love to offer you 3 pieces of advice that I hope will serve you well during your internships. First and foremost, network, and network some more. Just because you have secured your internship does not mean you should sit back and stop maximizing the opportunity to connect with people. Knock on doors, talk to your colleagues, pick their brains, find out how they got to where they are today. You already have your internship, which is incredible, but you now also have the right access point to create opportunities that go far beyond your original role. Do not let that go to waste. Second, embrace the slow periods. Every internship will have quieter stretches, and that is completely normal. What should not be normal is using those slow periods as an excuse to coast. Use that time to learn more about the organization that you are working for. Seek out projects you are passionate about, and most importantly, find colleagues working in areas that interest you and ask how you can be of service. Opportunities, as I'm sure every single person in this room knows, does not always fall into your lap. Sometimes you have to be proactive and go find them yourself. But in my opinion, it is exactly these types of opportunities that end up being the most rewarding and the most impactful. Lastly, the internship is not the whole of your summer, especially for those of you traveling to a new country. Some of my most cherished memories from my time in Ghana were not just in the office. There were day trips with friends, evenings spent with colleagues outside of work, and simply wandering through the country that I'd loved and learned to love over time. The funding that you have received is not only an investment in your professional development, it is an invitation to grow as a person. Embrace that fully. To conclude, my internship was nothing short of life-changing. It strengthened my commitment to a career in international law, with a particular focus on human rights and policy advocacy across the West African region. And it also helped me land my new internship this summer at Denton's law firm. I'm deeply grateful to Alan A. Hodgson for making this experience possible. His prestigious award allowed me to fully immerse myself in the internship, embrace the beautiful Ghanaian culture, and grow both professionally and personally. Thank you for believing in students like me who are eager to create meaningful change. And to this new cohort of AIO interns, that same belief now rests in you. Thus, I want to take a moment to congratulate and celebrate each and every one of you. Your selection was not an accident. Someone looked at your story, your drive, and your potential and said, you are ready. Honor that. Show up with curiosity, with intention, and with the hunger to make this experience everything that it can be. Congratulations, enjoy your internship, and make every single moment count. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our speakers. To follow Henry, if you travel, please stay safe. For my own heart, for my own summer, but yes, please enjoy. So thank you again to all of our speakers. And before we turn to the cocktail reception, if I can have your patience for one more moment, I will turn to Pat, our photograph, to take our annual group picture. So he will give you some directions for all of our award recipients. I think if you gather in the middle of the room, and if you face that wall. Okay, so if you all turn to that wall, we'll take our group picture and then we'll open up for the reception. Thank you, everybody.